My wife had an affair with her coworker and gaslit me about it. Is it hopeless to keep trying? I met up with my older brother and his wife and I asked for their advice. They advised me to break up, but I was still reluctant to do so. I called my best friend while at my brother's and he had the exact same reaction. It was at that point I decided I was done and getting divorced. I texted my wife that I wouldn't be coming home. She started lighting up my phone with messages and phone calls, but I ignored them. The voicemails she left ranged from begging to angry to threatening. I wanted the whole truth of the story but knew my wife would never give it to me. In the middle of the day I called the number for the affair partner that was in the email. I knew he would lie but I told him. She came clean and said you guys only had intimacy once and that it was a mistake, and all I wanted was to hear his version and that I would leave him alone. He was clearly panicked and immediately agreed, confirmed it was only once and a mistake, but wouldn't give me a day or event when I pressed. He said he was blocking my number. My brother was curious how one of her coworkers had my email and that it didn't make sense. This wasn't a publicly listed work email, it was a personal one. So I mindlessly started going through my inbox and found old emails from a rec league sports team I organized a couple years ago for my friends, and my wife had invited one of her really close female coworker friends and their partner to join. She had my email and could have sent it to me? My brother was telling me to stop because this was bordering on crazy, but my blessed sister-in-law was egging me on. I called into their work and asked for a different coworker's cell, identifying myself as wife's husband, and it was for a social reason. They gave it to me. Once work hours were over I gave this other coworker a call. I told her that the affair partner had come clean and that I think she emailed me. She immediately admitted to it, said she hated not approaching me in person but was terrified to do so and thought I might snap at her. She didn't care if anyone at work or if my wife found out, she was just grateful that I wanted to hear the truth. I thanked her for reaching out and said I couldn't talk to the affair partner again and just wanted to hear her side of the story to tell my lawyer. She said she had gone no contact with my wife and confirmed that my wife had an affair in extensive detail. They had intimacy anytime I was out of town or anytime I was working overnight, both of which happened multiple times a month, and that it started weeks after our wedding. My wife had essentially been bragging about it to this coworker friend in very graphic detail. When asked why she wouldn't leave me, my wife talked about how comfortable her life was, how much money I made, and that other people thought I was good looking. This caused the coworker to snap and cut off ties. The coworker desperately wanted me to find out and was horrified by the situation because she had been cheated on before and that my wife was aware of that. She said other friends also knew. This felt like a betrayal because two of the other friends had known me for so long that I considered them my own friends. They were at our house multiple times a month. I wanted to call them but my sister-in-law stopped me. She thought they would give my wife a heads up and said I might enjoy catching her in another lie. I slept at my brother's for a second night and sent a text that I'd be home at 10 a.m. tomorrow to my wife. I went home, she was waiting, asked me what was going on and that she had been worried sick and was anxious and was furious. I told her the affair partner came clean. You guys had intimacy once. She broke down, said it was just the once, she loved me, couldn't admit to it because I would leave her and that I was better than the other guy in every way. Then I asked her to promise it was just the once and she did. She said she was desperate to move on from this, have kids, continue with our comfortable life, I should let it go. Things got quiet and I kind of just started laughing. I saw her for who she really was. I told her I knew the whole truth, told her about some of what I had heard and was only here to grab my things and take our pet dog. She was in disbelief, screamed at me and locked herself in the washroom. I packed a bag and have been at my brother's since. Although ever since at my brother's my sister-in-law has been making some suggestive advances. I'm considering my options here, not gonna lie.